And joining us now is NewsNation media contributor and executive producer for the Megyn Kelly Show on Sirius XM. We have Steve Krakauer. Happy New Year. Great to see you.
You too. Happy New Year.
So what are you making of this, what some are calling a civil war going on in the Republican Party?
Yeah, it was a pretty quick one. A pretty quick civil war, if that was it. I think the idea of it was so interesting that the reporting there that it was so important for President-elect Donald Trump that it happened on the first ballot, even to the sense that it actually was a shock for people that were following this yesterday. The first ballot was done, but then to actually get them to change their votes just so they just got over that threshold and actually be able to say, from like PR purposes, nope, it was on the first ballot. He won on the first ballot. I think that this was about as clean a victory as they could get, given the divide that there is on the GOP. As you mentioned, there are certainly a divide when it comes to the way that the GOP has different factions, like the Democrats do as well. But from the purposes of the MAGA agenda, the Donald Trump movement, I think this is about as good as you can get. You call it a first ballot, even though it took a little bit of extra wrangling to get there.
Yes, but I did find it curious that Trump didn't seem to come to Johnson's aid in the beginning. Why do you think that was?
I think, he did as much as he could at first, right? He gave the statement the night before, the morning of, and then he wanted to kind of like let it play out. I would not be shocked if he kind of keeps a mental note of who it took to really put the pressure on to get them to switch their side, including the one Republican, by the way, Thomas Massie, who still voted against Speaker Johnson. So we'll see how this all plays out. But I think, as far as these things go, I remember when Mike Johnson got there in the first place, it took so many different votes to get to there. That was really embarrassing for the GOP. This one, much smoother when it comes to how things kind of ultimately developed.
Yeah, a soundbite from one of the initial holdouts was something along the lines of, "I will not be voting for Mike Johnson. You can take it to the bank. Somebody can pull out my fingernails." I mean, it went really deep and yucky.
Yeah.
So we've had a lot of news happening today. It's still happening. But just moments ago, wrapping up at the White House, President Biden awarding the Medal of Freedom to 19 people today, including former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, billionaire Democratic fundraiser George Soros, YouTube singer Bono, actor Denzel Washington, a whole list. What do you make of the honorees and why Biden decided to choose the ones that he did?
Yeah, it was an interesting one. It was a mix of, I think, what would be the more traditional people that would get this honor. The Bonos, the Denzel Washington, Anna Wintour got it, right? Okay, that was kind of the traditional. And then you get the ones that you kind of just raise your eyebrows a little bit. Hillary Clinton, I mean, okay, fine. Mitt Romney was there accepting on behalf of his dad. And then the most shocking one, I have to say, to see Alex Soros there in the White House with President Biden and accepting on behalf of his dad, George Soros, is just this. I mean, for people that follow politics, and I'm sure if you're watching this, you know that name. That name is the Soros-funded district attorneys that are very progressive throughout the country. Alex Soros, who spent millions on both media apparatus, but also funding Democratic candidates. To do that, that was really eyebrow raising, I think. And that will be the one that gets remembered the most from this moment. The idea that just weeks to go before he's out of office, he decides to award this to George Soros, and to do so by putting Alex Soros, who is the heir to this fortune, and really, I mean, just the biggest power player in the Democratic Party right now, just full stop, put him in the White House just as he's exiting. I think that one will be remembered.
Yeah, perhaps they're hoping to have the optics instead be the cute moments, like when Magic Johnson's there bending down since he's so tall, and Biden's having to go around him, or the emotional moments where you see Michael J. Fox and you think about all the efforts he's made to try to find a cure for Parkinson's. All right. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.